Yo, what's good, guys? This is Double Q here. This is round 2. I'm already diving into this bagel. I got 3 bagels, and I'm at the store. Honestly, I don't like this. I'm not a fan. My phone is going in and out. It might cut out soon. But like we'll say, I'm not a fan of this bagel. I think it's either garlic or it's everything. Man, everything is wrong in the world with this bagel. It's not very good. But I got 2 of them, so I gotta eat them anyway. I think I was talking about self-worth. Yeah, I was talking about self-worth before I cut out. So I'm gonna go back to that because I need something quick to say. I gotta end this video soon. I don't know if people care that I'm talking. Like, I'm not too loud. You never know though. But the point is, if you have low self-worth, you're not as like inclined to do stuff, because you feel like you're not good enough or whatever, and so you end up not doing things. And like, I mean, truly, the lifeblood of the universe, in my opinion, is dependent on whether you're doing stuff or not. And I think you can make arguments for that. Like, that's not true. I believe it, but you at least could accept that action is stronger than the words. It goes much farther than words, and it's very important. I mean, look at everything that's built in modern society. A lot of it was not done. There's question marks. It wasn't done perfectly, but it was done, and it happened, and society was built on it. So it's like, I think if you have very low self-worth, you are inclined to do less stuff because I'm not good enough. I don't look good enough. I'm not happy enough. People don't like me enough. I'm not. Just make a list of excuses. And they're not even really excuses. If you watch my vlogs about self-worth and decision making, it's not really your choice that you choose not to do anything with your life. And honestly, I would even go so far to say argue that's not a bad thing necessarily. I think you're a product of your circumstances. That's what I think. But I think you're gifted a brain to think out of it. Fortunately, we're lucky at that. But the other reason I think that action is the strongest force is because in the speedrun world, and I use speedrunning as a I guess metaphor, a comparison for real life, and there's a reason for that. It sounds kind of silly, but it's because humans made video games, right? Video games are fully a product of humanity, so of course it has to abide by the same rules of humanity, with some exceptions, and I would say limitations. I wouldn't even say exceptions. I would just say limitations, but it has to abide by the same rules because humans literally made the game itself. It's not extraterrestrial or anything. I think most people say, if you treat life like a game, you'll do really well. That's the other way around. You need to treat a game like life, and that sounds stupid, but no. But the point is, I think you need to, but it's not because. It's because the game is you guys know what I'm saying. I get caught up in my words sometimes. Point is though, what's successful in a game, if you look at it from purely an objective stance, and in a speedrun, and the reason I use a speedrun, and this actually goes into my gameplay theory a lot, the reason I use a speedrun is because it's the baseline. It's basically math. Things like fighting games, League of Legends, those are applications. That's like more applied gaming. But like speedrunning it's all baseline. It's all like structural, and it's all a function of time. And that's why, if you study math at all, that makes sense to you guys. A lot of graphs are like time by some other variable. That's what speedrunning is. It's time by another variable, or lots of other variables. So. That's why you can quantify, and the reason that's important is because you can quantify everything. Everything's quantifiable, and objectively, if you look at a speedrun, what is the most efficient, what is the optimized thing you can do in a speedrun? It's completing goals. It's completing rooms correctly. That's the absolute best. But here's the trick. Getting there in a speedrun it's not so easy as you just do everything correctly. It's still better. That's still better than not doing stuff, right? But in order to completely optimize your efficiency, you can't simply just do things and it doesn't work like that. And I think the same thing's in real life. And I think there's clever ways to make it so the speedrun it gets as close as you can to 100% perfect, right? And you can play this. One tool is like rely on the fact that you have multiple attempts. And so if you get the wrong RNG and your run's not that good, and you do another run, you can do the same thing in real life. I think you work backwards. The same things apply to real life, or they should. And like one thing I think in that works with that is that I gotta eat. I gotta eat my bagel. It goes back to completing things, and it goes back to completing them correctly, right? That's what it goes back to. And I think one way to complete things correctly, on average, to increase your success rate, is to not complete them incorrectly. Right? Complete them, but not incorrectly. I guess, let me rephrase that. It's complete them and minimize the damage, I guess. Minimize the rate of failure. And actually, I wouldn't even say it's rate of failure, because it's not a hit or miss. It's minimize the damage. I mean, that's what I say speedrunning. It's pretty simple in speedrunning. Real life, very different. And so, I think like it's very important to have high self-worth, though, because otherwise you don't do anything. You don't think you're good enough. Things fall apart, and they don't even fall apart. You don't even choose it. If you've ever tried, like, today I'm just going to be really enthusiastic and positive, and then it just doesn't work. Not your fault. A lot of people have tried that and failed it. And the leaders of the world over the past 5,000 years, 10,000 years, they had to think differently, or it was natural. But even if it was natural, I don't believe it. They're using the brain 100% of the time. So that's my little spiel about self-worth and how it relates to gaming. And then I think I'm gonna make another vlog today, but I'm gonna talk about I came up with an idea in June about how to limitlessly improve at something, and I think I made a vlog on that already. So maybe I shouldn't, but I might talk about that. But I think we get here, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching my vlogger, and I'll do a bagel review too. This bagel I would not get it if you guys get in the humble bagel. I think it's garlic or it's everything. I'm pretty sure it's just garlic. Don't get it. It was a mistake. The blueberry is killer. I'm sure the cheese is good. I don't know. I haven't tasted too many of the other ones, but get the blueberries. Stick to blueberry. Now, I'm going to pizza here, guys. Yo, what's good, dudes? What's good, dudes? WQ here. I got my bagel. I just made a vlog. Actually, I'm going back. This isn't as bad as I thought it was. I don't even think it's bad, but like, eating it plain, I'm missing out, But I'm going back to what I said yesterday. I made a vlog yesterday, and it was a 2-hour vlog, and somewhere in there I said, if you're cheating on your spouse, which you should never do, and you're doing it, you should maximize your situation, right? And go all out, like, remove the guilt, remove the negative feelings, and then if you really don't like it, fix it afterwards. And I would apply that to everything. Like, if you drink the night before your job, you work or a job interview, you just call it off, and minimize the damages. I guess that's really not necessarily maximize your moment. Maximize the moment by minimizing the damages. Play in the moment, right? And again, this comes from my speedrun. But the thing I gotta address, now that I give life advice, I don't really like telling people if you cheat on your spouse to go all out, and that I don't think that's right. I actually think it's wrong. I think the point is that if you're doing something, you gotta do it in the moment. You can't do it. You can't dawdle on it, right? Because then you're thinking of the past and you're thinking of the future. When thinking of the past and thinking of the future, it happens passively anyway, right? And if you have the correct fundamental skill set or whatever, it ties into this whole self-worth understanding thing I'm talking about. You'll inherently make correct decisions anyway, without forcing yourself to. So it's like, now that you're suddenly forcing yourself to think about the future and you start worrying and stressing about it, you don't minimize the damages. Yeah, I don't think you should cheat on your spouse ever, and I think if you are, you should immediately stop. But if you are, I mean, you happen to be doing it, right? And if for some reason you can't stop, again, that's still a true fact. So it's like, don't worry, oh, I can't stop, I'm a terrible person. That's the wrong thing to do. You know, that's my whole point. I think a speed run, in order to, play in the moment, maximize the moment, it's very different than in real life, So I had to address that, because I can't be saying immoral things, And actually, I'm extremely anti-cheating, extremely. I get that, like, in a real-world application, some people don't give a shit, and actually, I guess there's, like, certain situations where it is positive, I'm not into it. I don't agree with it, but, I think that stems from mistakes. And actually, I think people inherently, what they're doing is maximizing their moment, and so instead of, like, and so the cheating or whatever is a result of that maximization, instead of the other way around. Which again, I think the perfect ideal is like that the moment never happened, but I don't know. I mean, real world's different. So plus, I think certain people who are really, really against it, they'll go out of the way to never do it. So problem solved. But I had to bring that up. And I'm not really sure what to talk about right now. I have a ton of different ideas. I kind of want to talk about my RuneScape girlfriend. I love talking about her. Honestly, I love it. I kind of want to rip on my friend who's streaming right now. I kind of want to rip on my friend because, and you might be watching this. If you are, I don't think you are, but if you are, don't get too mad. But point is, he started streaming today, did a 24-hour stream marathon. It's this Gamers for Charity thing, and really he has no viewers, because he doesn't have a stream. He just randomly started a stream, advertised to his Facebook page. This is what people who non-entrepreneurial people do, and they don't think big and they don't think grand. And honestly, I'm not good at that other stuff either. But he did this like weak attempt to do this charity marathon thing, and it obviously failed. I don't even think anybody donated, Okay, sure, he got his foot in the door in streaming, and by that I mean, he just did it. Great. It's a good first step, but rule number one that never make your core audience your real life friends. And I unfortunately have a lot of my real life friends as my core audience. Oops. But never make it. It's a disaster. And maybe never is the wrong word here, but like, they don't care. They don't care about your stream. They don't actually care about you. That's the problem. They don't care about your content. They're friends. They're the reason they're watching you or they exist around you is because of you, right? But it's you before the content. And there's also this narcissistic. It's not really narcissism, but it's like, because they know you now, they like try to hang around you and like become overbearing. And there's a lot of examples of this. And actually, a good way to find the people who don't do this, they don't watch you. They're not going to watch you. They're not going to hang out in your stream. Or they won't talk. And the reason is because that's what a normal stream viewer would do. That's how a normal stream. You want people that care about your content. If you want your online persona to be successful, you need to produce content, obviously, and you need people to actually care about it. And I think forcing that is the wrong way to do it. But it's like if that's not happening, you're doomed, right? And so if you make if you're okay, I got a ton of people on my Facebook friends list. I'll use them to get 20 viewers, right? It won't work. It will not work ever. It's 100% determined disaster. And like, that's the first big mistake you make. Second one, I think he's trying to put meaning into his life, because his life has no meaning, like most people around me. And I'll even put myself out there too. But again, it's like it's a fail. The whole point of this stream is like, it's not even to have a successful stream or to have a successful charity marathon. It's just to like flaunt the ego a little bit, you know. Which I don't think is all bad, because and this kind of goes back into what I was saying earlier in my previous vlog. Not doing it would have been worse, and you know, maybe 10 years from now, the guy will be a full-time streamer because he turns out he loves streaming, right? And it all started from doing something. So it's like, I do think the initial step of doing it is important, but how he's doing it is just not good. And actually, it kind of reminds me, and I know you're watching this video, potentially. I know you said to me, there's a guy who said to me, and he streams, and he has a lot of mods, and if you're watching this, you know, hey, I mean, is what it is, but he has a lot of mods, and like one of his mods is his real life friend, and he's always modded that person. That person's been there since the beginning, you know, but that person very clearly is not a real viewer, and that person very clearly has, like, one thing the real lifers do is they always make sure that they always make sure you and the other viewers know that that you know them in real life, right? They always make sure that, and that's another thing. And it's like, that happens a lot. Every time I go into this guy's stream and I see that dude, he just starts talking about him, himself and their relationship. He's like, "Can you do this for me?" And like, you know, the streamer's like, "Yeah, sure, dude." And it's because, you know, he's trying to be nice, but it's like, this is this dude, like, get rid of this guy. I mean, I hate telling people to do it. It sucks. It's the pitfalls of real lifers in your online world. There's a bunch of other ones too. Like I'm trying to think. Like they want your attention. They want to know that you know them. They want this other viewers to know that you know them. They always want, like, power to it. And actually, because in my stream, I was modding a bunch of my real life friends. You know, because I knew them in real life. And there was just a few people at first, but then there was more and more and more. And then they started, like, congregating in my stream and started, like, shitting out the whole place. And, like, I didn't know how to handle it. And it's like, this is bad. It was negative energy. And I just unmodded all my real lifers. Never again have they congregated in my stream. In fact, the amount of them that even watch my stream dramatically dropped. Best move I ever made. That's huge. So, fuck the real lifers. I know there's good real lifers out there, but like, the term real lifer is specifically targeting people that just want attention, and I think it's because their life is shit, and so they got nothing else. You know, you're doing something, and they wish they were, and so they pretend that you're friends or whatever. Anyway, it's fucking rainy in Not Eat This Bagel. It's only an 11-minute vlog. That's kind of convenient. These hour-long vlogs, they take like 9 hours to render, or like 12 hours, or like 20 hours. It's just too long. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. My little rant on fucking real lifers. Later.